We're talking about the Civil War, Indian Wars, the Spanish-American War, and was still wearing a uniform for World War I. He's like the Forrest Gump of military history, but with way more firepower. Today we're breaking down the life of Major General Frank D. Baldwin. Okay, let's play a game of military trivia. How many people in the history of the United States have been awarded the Medal of Honor twice? The answer? Only 19. Out of millions of soldiers, only 19 have ever reached that double legend status. And the guy who led the pack, the first person to actually receive two of them, is a man named Frank D. Baldwin. We're talking about the Civil War, Indian Wars, the Spanish-American War, and was still wearing a uniform for World War I. He's like the Forrest Gump of military history, but with way more firepower. Today we're breaking down the life of Major General Frank D. Baldwin. It's July 20th, 1864. The Civil War is at its peak. And Captain Frank Baldwin, he's leading Company D of the 19th Michigan Infantry. They're at Peachtree Creek, Georgia. The Confederates are charging hard, and the situation is looking grim. But Baldwin, he doesn't just hold the line, he decides the best defense is a terrifying offense. He leads a countercharge ahead of his own men. Imagine this. He's running into the smoke and lead, gets inside the enemy lines, and completely solo, on his own, he captures two fully armed Confederate officers and their regimental flag. That flag is called a guidon, and in the 1860s, capturing one was the ultimate flex. It took the government a while to catch up, but for that act of pure, unadulterated guts, he was awarded his first Medal of Honor. But Baldwin wasn't done. Fast forward 10 years to 1874. Baldwin, now a first lieutenant in the 5th U.S. Infantry, serving in the Texas Panhandle during the Red River War. He's commanding a scout company on escort duty when he discovers a massive Cheyenne camp led by Chief Graybeard. He also knows something heavy. This group is holding two young girls captive, Julia and Adelaide German. Julia being only 7 years old and Addie only 5. Their parents had been killed in Kansas, and these kids were taken by the Cheyenne warriors. Standard military protocol says, wait for reinforcements. Baldwin looks at the clock and realizes that if he waits, the girls might be killed or moved. He ignores the odds. His force is way outnumbered and orders a surprise charge right in the center of the camp. The attack is so sudden and so fierce that the Indians are forced to retreat. In the chaos, the scouts find a pile of buffalo hides. They pull them back, and there they are, Julia and Addie, emaciated and starving, but alive. For choosing the risky path to save those girls, Baldwin earned his second Medal of Honor. He is the first man in history to hold on to two. You'd think after 2 Medals of Honor, a guy would retire to a porch in Michigan, right? Not Frank. He stayed in the Army for decades. He went to the Philippines during the Spanish-American War, where he was promoted to Brigadier General. He finally retired in 1906 as Major General, but history wasn't finished with him yet. When World War I broke out, the governor of Colorado calls him up. He's in his 70s. Baldwin agrees to assume the rank as Adjutant General for the Colorado National Guard. He spends the war organizing troops and making sure the next generation was ready to fight. The man literally could not stop serving. Frank Baldwin passed away in 1923 at the age of 80. He's buried in Arlington National Cemetery right where he belongs. Think about the span of that life. He saw the world go from muzzle-loading muskets to tanks and airplanes. He was a prisoner of war twice in the Civil War, survived countless battles, and never once lost his edge. He wasn't just a soldier, he was a standard bearer for what it means to go above and beyond. So next time you think about the greatest generation, remember that Frank Baldwin was the guy who taught them how it's done. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories about the 19 double recipients, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.